Hello, welcome to this tutorial during which we will be creating an SEN-specific parents' evening. Okay, so this is one where there's no other class or teachers, it's just for SEN. The first place we want to begin with is setting up the teacher in the SEN class. So over on the teachers page, what you might find is that there's an SEN class in the edit class codes. So if your school has its SEN students flagged as such, maybe we've created an SEN class code. So you could go into edit class codes and search for the SEN class, and if it's there, you can skip the part where we add the students. I'll show you in a second. But generally speaking, you're going to have to create a teacher and then add an SEN class to them. Now, first of all, we'll check to make sure that there isn't any teachers here that are the SEN one. It doesn't look like it to me, so I think what I'll do is I'll create a new teacher. I'm going to call them Mr. A Absolute, something like that. And we'll give the class SEN as its name. I'm not going to pop in an email to Schnout or a room. What I have now is the teacher created with 0 students. So at least I have the teacher, the SEN teacher. And if you click on the teacher's name, we need to add the students to the teacher, which is basically going to create an SEN group that we'll use later to create the parents' evening. So you're going to click on add students. And what we want you to do is either using the reg classes, or maybe if you click on your groups, because you will have your groups, you can also maybe use this whole school option. But one way or another, we want you to basically cherry pick the students who should be in the SEN group. And I'm just going to do that right now, as you can see here, by clicking on them. When you go to add them, it will ask you to create a class code. Okay, so I'm going to create a class code here called SEN, and I'm doing that by choosing choose your own instead of the auto-generated. So choose my own, calling it SEN, and adding the class to, or these students to this teacher. Okay, notice they all now have a class code called SEN. Once that's done, we create the parents' evening. So I'm going to go to my evenings term. I'm going to create a new term for this. So evenings page, spring term, and then I'm going to create a new parents' evening, and I'm going to call this the SEN Parents' Evening. Okay, I'm going to make this later this month, and then obviously you'll choose when it starts and stops. So I'm going to say that it starts at 6 and stops at 8, and these are maybe 15-minute appointments, something like that. And obviously you have to choose when it opens and closes. So we'll have it opening tonight, maybe. That's not right. So down here somewhere. Yep, that looks good. And then we'll close it a couple of days before. Okay. Now, once you go through the usual settings, you need to tick all the year groups that have got some SEN students in them. Okay, so let's just say that in every year group you would tick them all, and then you're going to save the parents' evening. And what that will do is it will actually add all the students and all the teachers, which you don't want. So when this stops, we're first going to deselect all the classes, and then I'm going to look for my SEN specifically. So there they are, Mr. Absolute. And I'm just going to tick him. So it's the only teacher who I want bookable in this parents' evening. Okay, so I'll give that a little save. And the other thing we've got to do is get the students right. So at the top here in the shortcut, you can go to edit students. You can also do that by going to the dashboard. We'll do it that way as well. So dashboard, and then looking at my SEN parents' evening, I'm going to edit the students. Okay, and this is the last bit. Basically, we only want the SEN students in here, but it will have added the whole school or all the year groups students that you've selected. So I delete all here. Now, you can only do that obviously when there's no bookings. If you do that when there's bookings, you'll lose them. So we're doing it now at the start. So that's removed all the students. And if I go to add, I can search for a class code called SEN. There it is. Okay. So class codes SEN and add the class to the. Okay. That's now added the students to parents' evening. And that's it correct. So when we go to send out invites, for example, it will only send invites to the parents of students who you've added to the parents. Only those parents will see it, and then only those parents can book.